The end of the world was not a surprise. For the gods of Asgard, it was an appointment foretold in terrifying detail long before the first snows of Fimbulwinter began to fall.
Forget what you've seen in movies. The true story of Ragnarok's prophecy is far more tragic and complex. It isn't just a single glorious battle. It is a terrifying, intricate web of fate. A web that the gods themselves, in their attempts to escape it, only ended up weaving tighter. By the end of this video, you will understand this intricate web, and you will learn how the Ragnarok prophecy truly begins, not with a battle, but with a single, heartbreaking death. To understand how Ragnarok was prophesized, we must go to its primary source, the Voluspa, the prophecy of the seeress. This is one of the most important poems in the Poetic Edda. The entire poem is a vision recounted by a Volva, a prophetess, whom Odin himself summoned from the dead. He uses his magic to revive her, solely to ask her to reveal the past, and more importantly, the future. You see, Odin, the All-Father, was obsessed. Unlike the gods of other mythologies, the Norse gods were not immortal. They could be killed, and Odin was plagued by visions of this end. His entire reign as king of Asgard was defined by a desperate, relentless quest for knowledge, all to understand and hopefully prevent the coming doom. This is why he hung himself from Yggdrasil, the world tree, for 9 days and 9 nights, pierced by his own spear, sacrificing himself to himself, all to gain wisdom of the runes. It's why he traveled to Mimir's well, the well of all knowledge, and plucked out his own eye, dropping it into the water for a single drink. He gained cosmic knowledge, but with it, a clearer vision of the end.
And so, this dead seeress, compelled by Odin's magic, speaks. She tells him of the creation of the world, and then she tells him of its death. She sees the fatal lots of the gods. She sees the children of Loki, the great wolf Fenrir, the world serpent Jormungandr, and Hel, the goddess of death. Armed with this terrible knowledge, the gods tried to cheat fate. They took Loki's monstrous children. They cast Jormungandr into the great sea that surrounds Midgard, where he grew so large he could circle the world and bite his own tail. They tricked the wolf Fenrir, binding him with a magical, unbreakable ribbon made by the dwarves. To do so, the god Tyr had to sacrifice his own hand, placing it in the wolf's mouth as a show of good faith. A hand that Fenrir bit off the moment he realized he was trapped. The gods believed they had contained the threat. They had chained the monsters. They had exiled the goddess of death to her own realm. But the Voluspa had already foretold their failure. The prophecy was not a warning. It was a memory of the future. The gods' actions were not prevention. They were fulfillment. But the prophecy was not yet in motion. The chains held. The world was in balance. For the final countdown to begin, one event had to occur. The Voluspa called it the first of all sorrows. This was the death of Baldr.
Baldr the Beautiful, the son of Odin and Frigg, was the god of light, purity, and joy. He was the most beloved god in Asgard. But he began to have nightmares. dreams of his own death. Terrified, his mother Frigg traveled to every corner of the 9 realms. She extracted an oath from everything, from fire and water, from stone and steel, from animals and plants, that they would never harm her son. And they all agreed. This led to a new game in Asgard. Let's throw things at Baldr. The gods found it hilarious. Spears, axes, boulders, nothing could touch him. He was invincible. But one god did not celebrate. Loki, the trickster, the god of mischief, was filled with envy. Disguised as an old woman, he went to Frigg and cunningly asked her, "Did everything truly swear an oath not to harm Baldr?" And Frigg, in a moment of maternal pride, revealed her one tiny oversight. "Oh," she said, "I didn't bother to ask the mistletoe. It grows west of Valhalla. It seemed so young and harmless."
This was all Loki needed. He found the mistletoe, carved it into a sharp dart, and returned to the god's game. He saw Hodor, Baldr's blind brother, standing aside, unable to participate. "Why don't you honor your brother?" Loki whispered. "I have a small twig here. Let me guide your hand, so you too can join the fun." Hodor, trusting Loki, threw the dart. It pierced Baldr, who fell dead instantly. A complete, horrified silence fell upon Asgard. The prophecy had truly begun. This was the act that broke the world. The gods mourned, but Odin understood. This was not just a tragedy, it was the trigger. The Voluspa's prophecy was now irreversible. But the death of Baldr was only the first domino to fall. The punishment that followed would set the stage for the world's final unraveling. The gods' grief turned to rage. They hunted Loki, who tried to hide, but he was eventually captured. His punishment is one of the most horrific in all of mythology.
They dragged him to a desolate cave. They also brought 2 of his other sons, Vali and Narfi. In their fury, the gods transformed Vali into a wolf, who immediately tore his own brother Narfi to pieces. The gods then took the gruesome entrails of Narfi, and they changed. They became chains of iron. With these, they bound Loki to 3 great stones. But that wasn't enough. The goddess Skadi, whose father Loki had also killed, placed a giant venomous serpent on the rocks above him. This snake was positioned so its venom would drop by agonizing drop, directly onto Loki's face for all eternity. Loki's one comfort was his loyal wife, Sigyn. She sat by him, holding a bowl to catch the venom. But every time the bowl became full, she would have to turn away to empty it. In those brief moments, the venom would strike Loki. His screams and thrashing were so violent, the Epic poet says this is what causes earthquakes. Think of this. The prophecy is now fully in motion. Baldr, the god of light, is dead. Loki, the catalyst, is bound and tortured, his hatred for the gods growing with every drop of venom. His son, Fenrir, is bound, his own hatred festering. His other son, Jormungandr, waits in the deep. The world is a powder keg, and the gods themselves have just lit the fuse.
The next sign foretold by the Voluspa was the breakdown of the world itself. This was Fimbulwinter.
the Great Winter. This was not just a long winter. It was 3 years of winter with no summer in between. An axe age, a sword age, a wind age, a wolf age. The sun and moon grew weak. All morality in Midgard, the world of men, collapsed. The bonds of family and kinship dissolved. Brother turned against brother, father against son, driven mad by starvation and cold. The prophecy said, "Men will know no mercy." This endless winter was the final seasoning of the world for its end. The ice and snow weakened the magic that bound the monsters. The moral decay in humanity mirrored the decay in the gods' own fates. The world was becoming undone. Odin, in Asgard, knew what this meant. The Völuspar had foretold the death of Baldr, the binding of Loki, and the arrival of Fimbulwinter. He now knew the final signs. The prophecy also spoke of the immediate triggers, the very signals that the end was no longer coming, but was here.
The seeress foretold this. She said the wolf's skull would finally catch the sun, and his brother Hati would catch the moon, devouring them both. The stars will vanish from the sky, plunging the 9 realms into a terrifying, starless black. At that moment, the entire world tree, Yggdrasil, will tremble. The earthquakes Loki caused were just tremors. This is the real thing. The mountains will crumble, and every chain, every bond, every fetter in the universe will snap. The wolf Fenrir is free. Loki is free. Jormungandr, in his rage, thrashes onto the land, causing colossal tsunamis.
The roosters of the 9 realms will crow, signaling the alarm. And in Asgard, one god sees it all. Heimdall, the guardian of the Bifrost, will raise Jalahorn. The prophecy said his horn is loud. He will blow one long, mournful, terrifying blast that will be heard across all 9 realms. This is the sound Odin has been dreading for millennia. The prophecy is no longer a prophecy. It is a report. Ragnarok is here.
And so the final battle begins, exactly as the seeress foretold. This is how the gods knew. They didn't just get a vague warning. They received a detailed, step-by-step itinerary of their own destruction. The Völuspá told Odin that Fenrir would kill him. It told Thor he would kill the serpent, but die from its venom. It foretold that Loki and Heimdall would kill each other, and that Surtur, the fire giant, would engulf the entire world in flames, cleansing it. And here is the most tragic, most profound part of the prophecy. Not one of them tried to run. They knew their fate. They knew they were doomed, but they armed themselves, blew the horn, and rode out to meet it anyway. Because the Völuspá didn't only foretell death, it also foretold rebirth. The seeress saw a new, green world rising from the waters, a world where Baldr would return, and a new generation of gods and 2 human survivors would begin again. The prophecy of Ragnarok was not just an end, it was a violent, necessary reset.
The prophecies of the Norse are some of the most detailed prophecies in history, but they are not the only ones. From the oracles of Greece to the end times myths of ancient Egypt, humanity has always been obsessed with its own doom. What piece of the Ragnarok prophecy did you find the most fascinating? And what myth should we decode next? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed deciphering mythology, subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss our next journey into the ancient past. Thank you for watching.